Welcome back, lovely people, to Power Hits 101, your favorite show on the radio. And we got one of your favorite co-hosts also with me. We got this dude that we call Stakhaus. How you doing, Stakhaus?
I am doing wonderful, fine, sir. How you doing today is the question.
Oh, man, I am so energized right now. I just feel lovely. It feels good out here in the ATL. How it feels out there in Florida, man?
Things out here in Florida is good, man. I was looking at the weather today. We got a little bit of rain, keep dust down, and the temperatures have finally went down to the mid to low 80s, and it's a great thing. Mm-hmm. I was outside drinking coffee this morning, didn't have to worry about bugs. How's that sound?
Oh, look, I would love that. I can't stand these bugs. Oh, you know what? Here's a quick question for you, because I mess with people about this. Okay, you know that funny looking bug that comes out in the summertime with the long tail and it got two wings on each side? It's pretty long.
Yeah, the dragonfly, yeah.
Okay, so you call it a dragonfly?
Yep, call it a dragonfly.
Okay, see, he's not from where I'm from. He's from the Baton Rouge area, in case y'all don't know. Okay, I'm from a little town called New Roads, which is like 30 minutes from Baton Rouge. Because out there, we call it a mumsel. Don't ask me why. But we call it and I asked some kids recently, maybe a few years ago, and they still say mumsel. I'm like, man, what is wrong with us?
No way.
We call them a mumsel.
I remember having this discussion. when we was kids. And we was at your house or something in the summer. And I said, look at a dragonfly. And y'all looked at me like, what are you talking about? I said, nah, man, that's a dragonfly. I remember that, man. Yeah.
Look, we so back. Look.
Yeah, they
We call a cul-de-sac a bullhead. If you ever walk up to a cul-de-sac, right before you get to the beginning part where it starts curving to that end part, maybe I should say, if you look at it, it does look like the head of a bull because it kind of goes like the horns of a bull. And I said, I said that's why they call it a bullhead. That's what we call it, man.
A bullhead.
A bullhead.
I ain't never heard that one.
Oh yeah,
I'm gonna have to use it though.
Use it, man. All right, so it's time for that.
I'm gonna use that one.
It's time for the hater segment right here on Power Hits 101. So on this particular segment, I talk about things I can't stand, I just don't like, and cause you know me, I just hate everything for some reason. I'm gonna have to do a segment called the love segment because I've been hating too much. So okay, so the first thing on the hater segment, first topic. You know what? I don't particularly hate it. It's just more of a dislike for this particular thing, but I really don't see why it was invented. I don't like a letter opener. What do you think about it?
I'm in agreement with you on that. I don't care for them because it looks like a knife that's sitting on somebody's desk.
Exactly.
I don't understand what it is. It's just bougie to me. I don't think you should be able to open it with your finger or pocket knife. And I always got one. Right.
That's right. I remember having one. I think I bought one before. And they have these new ones now. They're little small ones. And so I tried to open it. And it could open up the letter pretty good. But when I was doing it, I kind of felt like I was doing more work than just opening it with my finger. You know what I mean? And I'm like, okay.
I agree 100%.
And but isn't it funny how people come up with stuff and make millions off of it, and we just sit up there and watch them make the millions?
Yeah, because people need to open up letters, and somebody found a niche for it and made some money off of it.
Exactly. But those letter openers, I don't know if y'all like that. People out there, they just, you're right. It is a little bougie when you think about it.
It is bougie. It's bougie 100%. You can't just flip it open with your finger. What's the point?
That's what I'm saying. I guess people are scared of paper cuts or something like that.
Yeah, I've gotten a paper cut, but the way they're doing envelopes now, you can just rip it open or tear it from the side. I like tearing it from the end, and that way you just pop the letter out.
Exactly.
Instead of opening it across the top, yeah.
I can't do it, man. If they were, and what's so funny, if they were so great, why when we watching the Oscars and the Grammys, why they don't use one of those to open them up? Because I see people just open it up,
I agree. I ain't never thought about it like that. But yeah, put a big fancy letter open up there, let them open it with that. But that'd probably be considered a weapon.
It probably is.
Yeah.
These days, everything is a weapon, it seems.
Everyone's a weapon. That's right.
All right. Okay. So the next topic on the hater segment. It's something about this phrase I don't like, and I'm gonna tell you the second why I don't like it. You're gonna probably laugh when I tell you what I use to counter this phrase. I don't like the phrase comparing apples to oranges. Like, how when you're in a debate with somebody and you're making a good point, and they're like, well, that's like apples to oranges, or that's not apples to oranges. I'm like, and look, let me tell you, whenever they tell me that, you know what I tell them?
What's that?
I say, well, they're both fruit.
That's what I said. That's what I said. We just had the same. Viola and I had the same discussion. She said, "But it's a different fruit." I'm like, "But it's still a fruit." So I had to go back, and you bring this up, but I looked this up a while ago. It's probably better part about 6 months ago because somebody used it. I said, I got to figure out where it came from. Well, the actual saying was not apples to orange. It was comparing apples to oysters.
Really?
And it was in John Ray. Yep, it was apples to oysters, and it was John Ray's Proverbs collection of 1960. So you can never compare apples to oysters because it's two totally different things.
Exactly.
And that makes sense to me. But you say apples to oranges, I like them both. So you're really not, you're not getting away with me in this argument. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, because it just pissed me off when I'm comparing something and people are like, well, that's like apples to oranges. I'm like, dummy. They both fruit. That's always my argument. I always like to get them on that. Like, I like the research you did on that, man. I never knew the history of that.
Well, P. Will, next time you saying that wrong, say it right. It's apples to oysters. Then we can have this conversation.
I'm gonna tell
That's
him
what
that.
you tell him next time.
I'm gonna tell him that, And I hate oysters, by the way, but
Yeah, I can't do them either, brother. I'm getting ready to try something to see if I like them, but I don't think it's gonna work. But yeah.
But yeah, thanks.
Didn't like them in gumbo, and ain't gonna like them no other time.
There you go. Thanks for the history lesson on that Stakhaus. All right, so here we go with the last topic.
No worries, man.
Last topic on the hater segment. Okay, everybody should hate this. If y'all okay with people like this, then something wrong with y'all. Maybe y'all hate the person that Well, let me just read it. Okay, I cannot stand this, guys. I hate people who stay in their car when you're waiting on their parking spot. And here's why I hate it. Because it's like, okay, don't you get the feeling that they know you're waiting on them? It's like, because they'll get in the car and they'll look and see you waiting, and then they'll just get in, and then they text their mama, they call their daddy, they, talking to their wife. I'm like, dude, get out the parking spot. You gotta go, I gotta go. Let's transition. Let's make some progress here. Because let me tell you, I respect people's time. Okay, when I'm in a parking spot, when I'm about to get into my car, and I see somebody pull up behind me because they know I'm pretty much getting out. Now, I know I don't have to rush, and I know I shouldn't have to rush, because what if I have to do something right then and there on my phone? But just out of respect to them, I say, yeah, I know they need this parking spot, so let me hurry. And every so often, I might take a few seconds or something to get out, but then I hurry up, because here's what I do. I back out of the parking lot or drive forward if I can, and then if I had something to do when I got in the car, I just handle my business as soon as I pull out of it. Like I might go to another parking spot or something like that. But people take their own sweet time when they do that. And I'm like, dude, get out the damn parking spot. I gotta go, and you should have to go too. Go ahead.
Cause I'm with you 100% on that. Matter of fact, it gets my pressure up so bad. They had a person, I was just in a bad mood one day, and the spot was there. It wasn't the best spot, but the parking lot was full. Saw the person get in the car, and I waited. And they started doing something on the phone. I'm like, come on, let's back up. I got to go. So then I figured, if you're going to wait or make me wait, I'm going to make you wait. So I nosed up behind the car just a little bit, pulled up behind it. So when they put in reverse, I tapped the horn and said, hey, I guess you're going to have to wait now because you can't go nowhere.
Exactly.
And it got irritated. I got irritated. And finally, I backed up and let them out. But it was just the point of, come on, get out the way. It ain't that important.
That's right.
Now, if you got kids or something, you're trying to get kids settled in, that's a little bit different. But if you just get in all of a sudden,
you're right.
Get your air conditioning going and start, doing whatever, I think that's very rude, especially when you got a busy parking lot.
Man, people do that so much. There's this mountain hike I go to, Kennesaw Mountains a lot. It's hard to find parking spots if you ever go over there. They have an extended parking lot that's maybe a quarter of a mile down the street, maybe not even that far. But whenever you find in that parking spot that's close to the mountain itself, people do that, man. They take their own sweet time. I'm like, okay, y'all just walked up a mountain, came down. Don't act like y'all just jogged a marathon. Y'all ain't that doggone tired. Back out the doggone parking spot, man.
Get gone.
Yeah. Oh, people.
Yeah, ain't you hungry?
Exactly.
Go get some food, people.
Exactly.
Go get something to eat. Get out of the way.
Man, because I tell you, people are so irritating sometimes,
Yeah, they're selfish, man. We breed that in this country of ours. It's sad to say, but people are more selfish. And not everybody, don't get me wrong, but a lot of people are selfish and they don't care about other people's time or anything.
They don't. And see, sometimes I think people do it because they're thinking like, well, you should drive further to find another parking spot. Don't try to rush me. I think that's what they're thinking, that you're rushing them. It's not that I'm rushing you.
Yeah.
You have a closer spot to the store. I gotta go in the
I'm just
store.
waiting.
You gotta leave. I know you got something to do, so get your tail out the parking spot.
Yep, get it moving, and everybody be happy. But yeah,
Exactly.
I'm with you on that one. He will. I don't care for that too much, and it does irritate me. That's one of the few things that make my pressure go up.
Listen to full episodes of Power Hits 101, giving you the latest in R&B, hip hop, and cool conversation. Tune in on the Mixcloud app or at mixcloud.com.